It never starts with attraction. It starts with curiosity. Every man wants to be desired, but the men women can't stop thinking about are not the ones who make them laugh, or even the ones they find attractive. They're the ones who make them feel seen, the ones who ask questions that touch a part of her she's been hiding, even from herself. That's where addiction begins, not in her body, but in her mind. You see, women don't get hooked on attention. They get hooked on emotion, and emotion lives in reflection. When you ask the right question, you don't just enter her conversation. You enter her memory. You plant yourself in the quiet moments when she's lying awake, replaying your words, trying to understand why she felt so connected to you so quickly. Most men try to impress through talking, but the man who listens with composure, who speaks with calm curiosity, he becomes dangerous because he gives her something almost no man can: understanding without judgment, presence without pressure, interest without need. Marcus Aurelius once has said, "You become what you give your attention to." And most men give their attention to trying to be liked, but the high-value man gives his attention to understanding. He's not trying to collect approval. He's trying to observe reality. And women can feel that difference immediately. So if you've ever wondered why some men linger in a woman's mind long after they're gone, it's because their presence wasn't about charm. It was about depth. And it all starts with the questions they ask. Have you ever noticed that when a woman truly opens up, her entire energy changes? Her tone softens, her defenses drop, her eyes start to study yours, as if testing whether your presence can hold the weight of her truth. That moment isn't about attraction anymore. It's about trust. Women bond through emotion, not logic. They don't fall for facts or status. They fall for the way you make them feel when they reveal themselves. That's why shallow men lose interest fast, because they never go deep enough to uncover the layers that keep her emotionally connected. They stay on the surface, chasing validation instead of evoking emotion. There's a scientific truth behind this. Emotional connection triggers dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin, the same chemicals tied to addiction. That's why when a woman feels safe, heard, and intrigued in your presence, her brain literally starts to associate you with comfort, excitement, and relief. You become the emotional space she returns to again and again. But here's the paradox. You can't force this. You can't fake curiosity, because real presence, masculine stillness, can't be imitated. It comes from within. A calm man doesn't need to fill silence or chase validation. He holds space, he observes, he listens without needing to fix or impress. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Most men never learn that. But when you do, when you master the art of guiding a conversation with purpose, you stop being another man in her messages, and you start becoming the mirror she can't look away from. So let's dive in. 10 questions that don't just make her talk, they make her feel. 10 questions that turn a moment of curiosity into emotional gravity. Question 1. What do you find hardest to explain about yourself? Every woman lives behind layers. The world only ever meets the version of her that knows how to smile on command, how to sound confident, how to survive without revealing how fragile she sometimes feels. Beneath that surface exists another self, quieter, complicated, conflicted, the part that rarely gets the chance to speak. When you ask her, what do you find hardest to explain about yourself? You open a door to that hidden room. It's not a pickup line, it's an act of courage. Because what you're really saying is, you can be unedited here. Most men never reach this depth. They chase laughter, flirtation, validation, but not truth. They avoid real questions because they fear the silence that follows. But the man who can ask this one calmly, with genuine curiosity and no rush to respond, gives her something almost sacred: space. He becomes the mirror that doesn't judge, the witness that doesn't interrupt. And when a woman senses that, she doesn't just open up, she trusts. Psychologically, this question activates the self-disclosure loop, one of the most powerful bonding mechanisms known. Every time a person reveals something personal and feels accepted for it, the brain releases oxytocin, the same chemical that forms maternal bonds and deep romantic attachment. She's not falling for your words. She's associating your presence with emotional safety. That's the kind of connection that keeps her thinking about you long after you've gone silent. Picture it. You're sitting together in the soft noise of a cafe or walking in the quiet after midnight. You ask the question and then let the silence work. She looks away, smiles nervously, maybe says, "That's hard." You nod, unhurried. The stillness between you expands until she fills it with something real. the struggle she hides, the contradiction she never admits. And you don't rescue her from it. You simply stay. In that moment, she realizes you're not like the men who need to fix or analyze. You're the man who can hold truth without flinching. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." Vulnerability is bravery in its purest form. When she risks showing you what's hardest to explain and finds no judgment, she experiences freedom, not from the world, but within it. And that freedom becomes tied to you. Here's your mindset shift. Don't ask to gain information. Ask to understand the person behind the performance. Curiosity without ego is magnetic. When your stillness makes her feel safe to speak, she'll return to that feeling again and again. Because attraction fades with novelty, but recognition, the sense of being truly seen, never dies. So when you ask her this question, don't try to sound wise. Just be present. Let her feel that your attention is steady enough to hold the parts of her no one else has earned the right to see. Because once she's shown you that hidden self, and you stay unshaken, she'll never forget the calm that met her chaos. Question 2. What type of peace feels most like home to you? Every woman is chasing something, but most don't realize what it is. It's not love, not adventure, not success, it's peace. She may crave excitement, she may love chaos, but deep down she wants a place or a person where she can finally stop performing, where she doesn't have to measure her words or earn her worth. When you ask her, what type of peace feels most like home to you? You're not asking for a poetic answer. You're asking her to describe the one thing she's been missing in everyone she's met. Most men chase pleasure because it's loud, but peace, real peace, is quiet, subtle. It doesn't scream for attention. It just feels right. And that's what women remember. The man who can make them feel calm without saying a word. The man whose presence stills their nervous system instead of accelerating it. When you ask this question, you're giving her a language for what her body already knows, what safety feels like. Psychologically, this taps into the core attachment loop, the same instinct that bonds a child to its caregiver. The feminine craves containment, not control. She wants to rest inside strength that doesn't waver when she does. When she answers you, she'll reveal the texture of her peace. Maybe solitude, maybe laughter, maybe the quiet company of someone who doesn't need to talk to be understood. Whatever her answer, she's showing you her emotional blueprint. Imagine this scene. You're sitting beside her at the end of a long day. The world is dim, soft, unhurried. The conversation slows, and you ask, what type of peace feels most like home to you? She doesn't answer immediately. Her eyes drift. You can see the tension leaving her shoulders. Then she smiles faintly, almost to herself. When I'm with someone who doesn't make me think so much, she says, where silence doesn't feel awkward. You nod, no commentary, no analysis, just presence. And that right there is the moment she feels it. Peace embodied in you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." And if your ambition is to become the man whose calm steadies others, then you've already stepped into higher value. Because while most men chase attention, the rare man creates ease. Here's your mindset shift. Don't try to give her peace. Become it. Your peace isn't something you perform, it's something you project. The steadiness in your tone, your pace, your discipline, all of it teaches her nervous system that she can finally exhale. And when she does, she won't forget the feeling. Because here's the truth. Women don't stay with the man who excites them most. They stay with the man who makes their chaos make sense, the one whose stillness feels like home. So ask the question. Ask it slowly. Ask it like you already carry that peace inside you. Because when your calm becomes the place she feels most herself, you're no longer just a man she likes. You're the sanctuary she returns to. Question 3. When did you realize you changed the most? Every woman has a version of herself she's left behind, a chapter that quietly changed the entire direction of her story. Some of those changes came gently, through growth and time. Others came through pain, the kind that breaks something inside her so it can be rebuilt stronger. When you ask her, when did you realize you changed the most? You're not asking about her past. You're inviting her to revisit the moment she became who she is. This question is powerful because it touches two primal needs: to be understood and to have her evolution recognized. Most men never ask this. They see the woman in front of them and assume that's the full story. But every strong, mysterious, or self-contained woman you'll ever meet has a before and an after. And the man who's calm enough to ask about that, without judgment, without agenda, becomes the one person she associates with depth. Psychologically, this question activates narrative reflection, a process where the mind connects memory and identity. When she answers, her brain relives the emotion tied to that transformation: fear, hope, grief, courage, and releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone that links trust to vulnerability. The more vividly she describes the moment, the stronger that connection becomes. But here's the key: it only works if you stay still. Don't rush her. Don't interrupt. Let silence be your respect. Picture this scene. You're sitting across from her. The light is low, the energy unhurried. She's been telling you about her life, maybe how she used to be naive, or how she once let the wrong people stay too long. Then, after a pause, you ask, "When did you realize you changed the most?" The question hangs between you like a slow exhale. She looks down, thinking. Maybe she laughs, softly. But then her expression shifts. The eyes, the breath, the tone. She starts to speak differently. "When I stopped needing to be chosen," she says. Or, "when I realized no one was coming to save me." And right there, she's not flirting anymore. She's remembering herself. Marcus Aurelius said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." The Stoics understood transformation as a byproduct of endurance. Every scar is proof that you faced the storm and stayed standing. When she tells you her story of change, she's not just sharing pain, she's sharing strength. And when she senses that you see it that way, she feels safe in your presence because you didn't pity her, you respected the battle. Here's your mindset shift. Stop fearing depth. Ask questions that give her space to reveal her becoming. The men she forgets are the ones who chase her current self. The men she remembers are the ones who make her reflect on how far she's come. So when you ask her this question, do it with the stillness of someone who's walked through his own changes too, because transformation recognizes transformation. And when she realizes that you're not intimidated by who she was or who she's becoming, she'll start to see something rare, a man who doesn't want to shape her but to understand her. That's when connection stops being temporary and starts feeling like truth. Question 4. What do you notice most in people that others overlook? Every woman who has lived long enough to be disappointed has learned to see differently. She's no longer fooled by polished words or perfect timing. Her perception has sharpened into instinct, a quiet radar that senses energy before words even land. When you ask her, what do you notice most in people that others overlook? You're not asking for gossip or opinion. You're asking her to reveal her awareness, the way she reads souls. Most men never venture here. They're too busy trying to be seen to notice that the real connection happens when you reverse the direction of attention. Because the moment you ask her this, something in her shifts. Her body relaxes. Her tone slows. She realizes she doesn't have to perform intelligence. She can express perception. Psychologically, this question activates the empathy circuit, the region of the brain that processes emotional resonance. It's the same mechanism that allows two people to synchronize their nervous systems through shared observation. When she begins to describe what she notices, sincerity behind hesitation, pride behind loudness, fear behind anger, she's not just sharing opinions. She's revealing her emotional literacy, and the man who listens without interruption becomes the mirror that validates it. Picture this moment. You're in a calm space, a park bench at dusk, maybe a coffee shop in that quiet hour when time seems slower. She's talking about people, maybe a story about a friend or a stranger. You lean back and ask softly, what do you notice most in people that others overlook? There's a pause, not because she's shy, but because no one's ever asked her that. You can almost see her mind searching for the right words. Then she says, I notice tone. I notice when someone's trying too hard to sound confident. I can feel when something's off before they say it. And as she speaks, her eyes light up, not with pride, but recognition. You've just made her feel understood for her sensitivity, not judged for it. Seneca wrote, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The Stoic understood that our perceptions shape our pain, and women by nature are perceptive creatures. They feel the unseen currents of emotion long before logic arrives. When you show appreciation for that perception, you're not just complimenting her mind, you're validating her essence. Here's your mindset shift. Don't seek to impress her with what you notice. Ask to understand what she sees. Because while most men seek attention, the wise man seeks perspective. The more you understand how she observes the world, the more she feels that you're not trying to control her. You're trying to know her. And that kind of curiosity is intoxicating. It's the opposite of the shallow male energy she's used to, the kind that listens only to reply. When you make her feel seen for what she sees in others, you stand out instantly. So the next time you ask her this question, let it be a slow exchange, a moment of awareness meeting awareness. Because when she realizes that you see the world through a lens as sharp as hers, she won't need to be impressed. She'll simply feel understood. And that's how attraction turns into connection. Two observers finally being observed. Question 5. What kind of silence feels comforting to you? Most men fear silence. They mistake it for awkwardness, something that must be filled, fixed, or escaped. But the truth is, silence is the truest language of connection. It's where pretense dies and presence begins. When you ask a woman what kind of silence feels comforting to you, you're asking her to describe her safe frequency, the space where she no longer needs to explain, perform, or defend. You're not asking about words. You're asking about energy, the kind that soothes instead of stimulates. For a woman, silence reveals everything. If she feels at ease in the quiet, she's found trust. If she feels tense, she's still guarding herself. This question goes straight to the heart of emotional safety, something her nervous system reads long before her mind can explain it. When you ask it, you're telling her indirectly, your calm matters more to me than my ego. Psychologically, this question activates the parasympathetic response, the state the body enters when it feels safe enough to relax. When she reflects on silence that comforts her, her breathing slows, her muscles loosen, her tone softens. If your energy stays steady while she describes it, her body starts mirroring yours. That's what connection truly is, synchronization without words. The rare man who can maintain composure and stillness becomes unforgettable because his calm doesn't demand attention. It creates it. Imagine this moment. It's late. Maybe you're walking after dinner, maybe sitting together watching the city lights. There's a lull in the conversation, one of those quiet pauses most men rush to fill, but you don't. You let it breathe. Then you ask softly, what kind of silence feels comforting to you? Her eyes flicker with surprise, then curiosity. She smiles faintly, as if trying to picture it. The kind where I don't feel like I have to talk, she says. Where just being next to someone feels enough. You nod, slow and subtle, nothing more. Because at that moment, she's not describing a type of silence, she's describing you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, self-control is strength, calmness is mastery. The man who understands silence lives both truths. He's mastered the art of presence, the ability to hold space without needing to dominate it. Most men are loud because they're afraid of being forgotten. The Stoic man doesn't fear that. He knows that silence, when held with confidence, carries more gravity than any speech. Here's your mindset shift. Don't fear quiet moments. Rule them. When you can sit in stillness and remain grounded, you communicate the one thing every woman longs to feel. Security. Not the kind you promise with words, but the kind she feels without explanation. Because real attraction doesn't happen in noise. It happens in stillness, in the space between sentences, in the breath before the next word. So ask her this question. Ask it like a man who isn't afraid of silence, because he's made peace with his own. And when your stillness meets hers, when she realizes that your quiet doesn't suffocate, it soothes, that's when she'll know she's safe. And safety in the right man's presence always feels like home. Question 6. What do you miss about who do you used to be? Every woman you'll ever meet carries an invisible ache. Not for someone, but for somewhere inside herself she left behind. The version of her that was softer, lighter, less guarded. The one who used to laugh without calculating, love without bracing for impact, dream without needing a backup plan. When you ask her, what do you miss about who you used to be? You're not asking for nostalgia. You're asking her to reopen the pages she quietly closed to survive. Most men don't touch this space because it's too delicate. They stay where it's easy, humor, small talk, surface comfort. But the high-value man knows that depth is where real connection lives. This question doesn't just make her think, it makes her feel. It invites her to reflect on the cost of growth, the price of becoming who she is as am she now. Psychologically, this question triggers reflective self-compassion, a process where the brain reevaluates past versions of the self without shame. When a woman speaks about the parts of herself she misses, her emotions soften. She's not defending her identity, she's rediscovering it. If you stay grounded while she unpacks that, she begins to associate your presence with the comfort of self-acceptance. That's not attraction, that's trust. And trust is 10 times stronger. Picture the moment. You're sitting together after a long conversation when the energy starts to quiet. You're not trying to impress her anymore, you're just with her. Then you ask, what do you miss about who you used to be? The air shifts. She looks at you like she's deciding whether to tell you the truth. Her voice drops. I used to be more open, she says. I used to love people faster. I stopped doing that after I got hurt. You don't interrupt. You don't rescue her from the memory. You just listen, because that silence, that steady masculine stillness, tells her she doesn't have to perform her pain anymore. Seneca once said, "He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a man alive." The Stoic truth hidden in that line is this: transformation always demands loss. The woman she used to be had to die so she could become who she is now. But that death leaves echoes. And when she realizes you see those echoes, that you value the girl she was just as much as the woman she's become, she feels something she can't quite name. Here's your mindset shift. Don't try to fix what she misses. Help her remember it. The man who helps a woman reconnect with her lost softness doesn't just attract her, he awakens her. He reminds her that growth doesn't have to mean hardness, and that strength can coexist with vulnerability. So ask the question gently, without agenda. Let her step back into her own memory, because when you can meet her there, between who she was and who she became, you become more than a man in her life. You become the space where she rediscovers herself, and that kind of connection doesn't fade, it transforms. Question 7. Who do you become when no one's watching? Every woman wears a mask, not out of deceit, but out of necessity. The world rewards composure, not authenticity. It tells her to be confident, but not too confident, to be soft, but never too vulnerable. So she learns to calibrate, to hide her storms behind a smile and her exhaustion behind grace. But when she's alone, when the lights are low and the noise of expectation fades, a different self emerges. When you ask her, who do you become when no one's watching? You're not asking for performance, you're asking for truth. You're telling her, show me the woman who doesn't need to play any role. That question slices through pretense. It doesn't flirt, it invites. And in doing so, it triggers something rare: disarmament. Psychologically, this question activates the authentic self state, the part of the mind that reveals personal identity stripped of social armor. When she answers, her tone shifts. She stops performing and starts reflecting. You'll see it in her posture. Her shoulders relax, her eyes become distant, her words more deliberate. She's not speaking to impress you anymore. She's speaking to understand herself. And the man who can hold that kind of silence, who can sit still while she steps into her realness, becomes a mirror she's never had before. Imagine the scene. You're sitting together in soft light. The conversation has slowed to an intimate rhythm. You ask quietly, who do you become when no one's watching? She pauses. Maybe she laughs a little at first, unsure how to answer. Then she exhales, her guard lowering. Honestly, she says, I'm softer. I sing when I cook. I overthink less. I stop trying to be perfect. You don't respond right away. You just let that honesty hang in the air. Because in that moment, she's not the woman the world sees. She's the woman you get to witness. Epictetus wrote, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. The same principle applies here. Don't ask her to reveal who she really is if you're afraid to reveal yourself too. Authenticity calls authenticity. If you can stay composed, not distracted, not analyzing, she'll feel safe to stay open. Here's your mindset shift. Women don't crave constant validation. They crave the freedom to be unedited. The rare man gives them that without asking for anything in return. When she realizes that she can be unfiltered around you, that your calm doesn't flinch at her realness, she will subconsciously crave that space again and again. Because in a world full of performance, presence is the rarest seduction. So when you ask, who do you become when no one's watching? Do it softly, without ego, without expectation. Because when her mask falls and your gaze doesn't change, when she feels seen, not for her beauty, but for her being, that's when you cross from attraction into memory. And that's what she'll think about later. Not your question, not your words. The stillness of a man who didn't need her mask to stay. Question 8. What do you think people misunderstand most about love? Love, the word that builds empires and destroys them. The thing people swear they want, yet rarely understand. Everyone speaks of it, but few have ever stood still enough to feel it for what it truly is. Not fireworks, not fantasy, but discipline. When you ask a woman, what do you think people misunderstand most about love? You're not asking for poetry. You're asking for her philosophy. The set of quiet truths she's built from everything she's lost and everything she's learned. Most men avoid questions like this because it demands emotional presence. They fear deep conversations will push her away. But that's exactly where the strongest attraction lives. Inside emotional reflection. Because love isn't about entertaining her mind, it's about engaging her soul. The woman who can speak freely about love without being interrupted will feel more connected to you than to any man who's ever tried to impress her. Psychologically, this question activates the values network, the part of the brain that constructs meaning. When someone articulates what they believe about love, they're revealing their worldview. If you stay still, she'll begin to show you the blueprint of her emotional architecture. What she needs, what she fears, what she protects. Every word becomes a doorway into understanding her core attachment style. Picture this. You're sitting together at night, the conversation unhurried. The world outside is quiet. You look at her, calm and grounded, and ask, what do you think people misunderstand most about love? For a second, she's silent. Then her expression softens. I think people expect love to always feel good, she says. But real love is work. It's forgiveness. It's choosing someone even when you're tired. Her voice slows as she says it, almost like she's surprising herself with her own honesty. You don't rush to reply. You just breathe. And because you're not trying to outshine her thought, your stillness makes it echo. Seneca once wrote, "Love is the attempt to form a friendship inspired by beauty." The Stoics never romanticized love. They understood it as alignment. Two souls learning discipline through devotion. When she hears that truth echoed in your energy, calm, stable, undemanding, she realizes you're not another man chasing validation. You're the man who's mastered self-control, the foundation of lasting connection. Here's your mindset shift. Stop thinking of love as an emotion to chase and start viewing it as a state to embody. When you can sit with her in reflection, not needing to dominate, not needing to be right, you show her something almost no man can. Composure in closeness. Because the truth is, women don't fall in love with the men who make them feel butterflies. They fall for the ones who make them feel understood. So when you ask this question, don't fill the space afterward. Let it stretch. Let her words linger, because she'll remember how she felt when you listened. And that feeling will follow her long after you've gone quiet. Love isn't what you give her, it's what she rediscovers in herself when she's safe with you. Question 9. When was the last time you felt truly alive? Most people don't live, they just exist. They move through their days on autopilot, chasing comfort instead of meaning, safety instead of experience. But aliveness, real aliveness, is something different. It's that rare moment when the world stops feeling flat, when every sense sharpens, every breath feels earned, and for a fleeting instant, you remember what it means to be human. When you ask a woman, when was the last time you felt truly alive? You're not trying to sound poetic, you're calling her back to herself. You're awakening the part of her that's been asleep, buried under deadlines, expectations, and disappointments. You're not flirting with her mind, you're reawakening her spirit. Psychologically, this question taps into episodic memory recall, the neural process that revives emotion through remembered experience. When she answers, she doesn't just think, she feels. The dopamine from that memory resurfaces, the pulse quickens, her tone changes, and if you stay grounded, your presence becomes tied to that emotional charge. She starts to associate you with the feeling of aliveness itself. Picture this. You're walking with her late at night, the streets quiet, your steps in sync. You ask softly, when was the last time you felt truly alive? She stops, looks up for a second, her expression shifting as she searches her mind. Probably when I took that solo trip last summer, she says. I got lost hiking, my phone died, and I should have been panicking, but I wasn't. I just kept walking. It felt freeing. You watch her as she tells it. Her eyes light up, her shoulders loosen, her voice grows animated. You're not just listening to a story, you're watching her reconnect with the wildness she forgot she had. That's what this question does. It bypasses logic and touches vitality. Every woman craves a man who doesn't numb life but feels it. One whose calm isn't emptiness but control. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." The Stoics knew what most men have forgotten. Peace isn't the absence of motion. It's the mastery of it. The man who has tasted danger, heartbreak, loss, and still stands calm, radiates an energy that no excitement can match. Here's your mindset shift. Don't chase thrills. Become the reminder of what being alive feels like. Your grounded presence, your curiosity, your unhurried tone, all of it calls her out of her numbness. You don't have to take her on an adventure. You are one, not because of chaos, but because of contrast. So when you ask her this question, ask it slowly. Watch how her energy shifts. Because the truth is, women don't fall for men who make them feel safe all the time. They fall for men who make them feel alive without losing safety. And if she ever connects that feeling of life, freedom, and depth to your calm energy, she won't just remember the question. She'll remember how it felt to breathe differently around you. Because that's what aliveness is. Not movement, not noise, but presence. And presence is the one thing that never fades. Question 10. What kind of man makes you feel most feminine? There's a subtle shift that happens in a woman's body when she feels truly feminine. Her tone softens, her breath slows, her guard dissolves. It's not something she decides to do. It's something she becomes when the right kind of energy meets hers. When you ask a woman, what kind of man makes you feel most feminine? You're not asking for her type. You're asking for her truth. You're asking her to describe the energy that allows her to stop leading, to stop performing, to simply be. Because deep down, every woman longs for one thing, to feel safe enough to surrender, not to weakness, but to peace. This question is magnetic because it flips polarity back into alignment. The masculine seeks purpose, the feminine seeks presence. The masculine leads through direction, the feminine flows through expression. When you ask her this, you're letting her articulate the conditions that allow her to relax into her natural rhythm. And in that conversation, she begins to associate that feeling, that softness, that ease with you. Psychologically, this question activates the arousal safety paradox, the biological dance between tension and trust. The feminine energy opens when it senses grounded strength, not dominance. Her body doesn't respond to words. It responds to nervous system cues. The steadier you are, the more her own body feels safe to let go. And once she associates your presence with that surrender, she'll crave it. Not out of need, but instinct. Picture this scene. The night is calm, the lights low. You've both shared laughter, stories, fragments of truth. Then your tone drops. Quieter, slower. You ask, what kind of man makes you feel most feminine? She pauses, her lips parting slightly, as if she wasn't ready for something that honest. She looks down for a moment, thinking, a man who doesn't try to control me, she says. Someone calm, someone who doesn't get thrown off by my emotions. She glances up at you. When I feel that, I stop fighting everything. I just relax. Marcus Aurelius wrote, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. That's the essence of the masculine that frees the feminine. Discipline inward, patience outward. You don't make her feel feminine by teaching her how to be soft. You make her feel feminine by being so grounded that she no longer needs to protect herself. Here's your mindset shift. Polarity isn't something you create. It's something you allow. The calmer you are, the more chaotic energy naturally settles around you. The deeper your breath, the more she exhales without realizing why. So when you ask this question, don't fill the silence. Let her feel your stillness. Because what she'll remember isn't the words. It's how her body responded to yours. And that's the paradox of masculine energy. The stronger your presence, the softer she becomes. The quieter your confidence, the louder her attraction grows. You don't need to remind her you're masculine. You just need to be so centered that she can finally remember she's feminine. If you're still here, brother, that says something about you. It means you're not like the average man. The ones chasing validation, chasing noise, chasing approval. You're here because you feel something shifting. Because a part of you knows that what women crave isn't more words, more effort, more tricks. It's presence. And presence can't be faked. It can't be scripted. It can't be borrowed from confidence coaches or pickup lines. Presence is built in silence. It's carved through restraint. It's earned every time you choose composure over chaos, stillness over reaction, purpose over attention. This video wasn't about questions. It was about awareness. The kind of awareness that separates boys from men, performers from leaders, and attraction from connection. If these words resonated with you, if you felt that deep, unexplainable pull toward becoming more grounded, more calm, more unshakable, then you already belong here. This isn't just a channel, it's a brotherhood of presence. A space for men who are done chasing, who are done bending, who are ready to become the quiet storm that commands every room they enter. Marcus Aurelius said, you become what you give your attention to. So give your attention to your stillness. Give it to your discipline. Give it to your growth. Because when your energy changes, everything else does. Now, before you scroll away, I want you to type this in the comments, not as an act of engagement, but as a declaration of identity. My silence speaks louder than words. Write it, mean it, live it. That's your creed now. The world doesn't need another loud man. It needs more centered ones. Men who can hold the storm without becoming it. Men who turn their calm into command. So if that's you, subscribe. Join this brotherhood. Every video here is a weapon for your mind, forged from psychology, sharpened by philosophy, and tempered by the discipline of stillness. Because power isn't noise. It's the quiet confidence of a man who no longer needs to prove anything. And when you walk in that energy, the world bends differently around you. People listen differently. Women feel differently. You've heard enough, brother. Now go live it. Welcome to the Brotherhood of Presence, where calm is strength and silence is your loudest language.